Well, just all the stories I've heard about your father, Weenie Beenie, is that he was a nice Southern gentleman, had that drawl, so polite and everything like that. So he really came across as a businessman. But when you get him around, the den of thieves that usually hangs out in your average pool hall, he was thief numero uno because he could figure out how to get the money. So he was just so nice, and he came across as a businessman. For the people who didn't know him, it was like, oh yeah, I can spot this guy 2 balls. Then again, he played like a champion, so if anybody tried to spot him anything was likely to get broke. I heard a story one time about Ronnie Allen had heard about Bill Staten, and he was kind of going across the country traveling. Well, Bill was going the other way and just happened to catch him in some little pool room somewhere, and didn't really tell him who he was and everything like that. And he ended up getting 2 balls, I think it was, from Ronnie, and just broke Ronnie down before Ronnie could even get over to Johnston City. So
that's funny.
Yeah, that's just stories I've heard.
That's probably true. I'm going to be talking to Ronnie today, finally.
Yeah, encounter with your father.
I will.
I heard that your father lightened his pocket a little bit, because he was building up a bankroll and he was going to play Weenie Beenie anyway. But they met before he really knew who your father was, and your father just kind of snuck in the back door and said, "Hey, would you like to play a little bit?"
Yeah, he was good at matching them up. Yeah. That's what he liked to do. That was the thrill for him, figuring out a bat, anything. Right. I mean, he'd take any side of the bat just to make a bat.
Oh, well.
He's funny like that.
Yeah, Well, he had the money to do that too, because he started. I don't know how he finished up. I know I think he owned a big action pool hall. I don't know where that was, but I just remember the stories of him starting the hot dog stands. And, have you ever heard the story of how he got introduced to pool?
But tell me. I'd like to hear what everybody else knows.
Well, this is what I heard. I heard that he was running a hot dog stand, or maybe it was like 2 or 3 or whatever, wherever his hometown was, and he didn't play pool yet. And I heard that one of his guys, who was supposed to be running the hot dog stand, was supposed to be taking over from him, or taking over from another worker, wasn't showing up for a shift. So the current worker calls your father and says, hey, so-and-so is not on shift, and I know he's down at the pool hall. I mean, can you do something? So your father didn't want to go in and work for him, so he's worked his shift. So he goes and finds him at the pool hall and says, hey, you need to get back to work. So he goes back to work, and then a little hustler comes up and friendly says, hey, would you like to play some $5 number? And then I guess Weenie was he's a little bit of a gambler anyway, but he just hadn't gotten exposed to the pool yet. So he said, I'll play some. It was like $45, $50, and then I guess he was a pretty competitive guy. So then he goes and buys a pool table, puts it in his garage, and he goes back and practices every day until he can beat that guy, and then he just didn't stop from there and went on to championship. So is that about what you had heard?
That's about right.
Yeah. So
what I heard is he lost $600 and said, damn, I am not going to let anybody beat me out of $600, so I'm going to go get a table.
This had to have been what, I'm guessing, I'm totally guessing, 40s or 50s maybe?
When did he start? Well, he didn't start playing until he was 22. So, 50s.
50s? Yeah, okay. So I figured $600 for the 50s? Wow. That's like losing.
That may not have been to the same guy. It may have been that he lost. He probably, what I understand is he just hung out at the pool room. Right. He enjoyed it, and he kept on playing, kept on losing.
Yeah. Well,
so
there's a lot of us that do that. My brother was a pretty smart guy, and then he could just kind of work the odds a little bit to what looked like a losing game or a losing bet or whatever, and he just turned it around, and before you knew it, you were in the trap a whole time, and he's got your cash.
What's your name?
My name's Russ.
Russ what?
Russ Chewning.
And where are you from?
I'm from Lakeland, Florida, which is kind of in between Tampa and Orlando. So not really many players around where I am. It takes me about an hour to reach the nearest players hall.
Really?
I do what I can.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Thanks for the stories.